Longtime in-state rival Lincoln Memorial as the Abraham Lincolns battle the sons of Davy Crockett. Hello everyone, Brian Stain, glad you could be with us here at Pioneer Arena. Both teams come in tonight's conference game riding a lot of momentum. The Pioneers are riding a 4-game winning streak, second best in the league, and they've won 5 of their last 6. Meanwhile, LMU has won 6 straight, tied for first in the league with Queens. They could wrap up the number 2 seed in next week's Pilot Flying J South Atlantic Conference Tournament. Take a look at those conference standings. The Pioneers are currently in 6th in the league and battling to get into the top tier and a chance to host a conference tournament quarterfinal for the first time since 2010. The 8 teams to comprise the conference tournament have already been identified as number 1 Queens will battle number 8 Carson Newman, but the rest of them, 2 through 7, those seedings are still up for grabs. It is a Lincoln Memorial team that comes in here riding quite an impressive streak against the Pioneers. Yeah, unfortunately, they've won 24 consecutive games against Tusculum, especially if you're a Pioneer fan. They lead the all-time series 134-43, and during that 24-game win streak over Tusculum, LMU had been ranked in the nation 20 of those 23 previous times. Big reason for the resurgence for the LMU rail splitters right now is the re-emergence of their All-American Cornelius Taylor. The 4th-year junior out of Claxton, Georgia, missed the last Pioneer basketball game because of a knee injury. He is back, and they are playing much better. Didn't come back great. As a matter of fact, he scored double figures in 19 of 21, but his shot wasn't there just yet. This all-conference, all-freshman team and an all-conference second-teamer from a year ago earning second-team honors, averaging 14.5 points last year. His scoring average pre-Tusculum's first date when they were to play was 19 points a game. Right now at 17.1 points a game. Julius Brown has been outstanding for LMU. The 5'10 freshman out of Columbus has averaging 17 points a game in his last 5. He had 11 against Tusculum the last time, and he scored double figures in the last 5. Julius Brown is a big reason why this rail splitter team has really come to life as well. Brown has scored at least 13 in 5 straight games, combining to hit 15 three-pointers over that span. For the Pioneers, they're riding a 4-game winning streak by the strength of Caleb Hodnett. Hodnett has been named Conference Player of the Week during this stretch, and he's been phenomenal. A career-high 27 against Newberry, and in his last 7 games is averaging 17.9 points a game and coming up with just about 8 rebounds per contest. Caleb Hodnett finishing with 13 points in the game against Coker this past Saturday. Getting a lot of help from Tariq Jenkins. Jenkins out of Riverdale, Georgia, ranking 19th in the league in scoring at 12.8 points a game. He's 6th in steals, and in his last 13 games at 14 points per contest. Had his career best 24 against the LMU Rail Splitters the last time they played. And Trenton Gibson has been this very steady, you could just say a guy that comes in as a true freshman who has figured it out at a very early age. He is 20th in the league in scoring at 20.4 points a game, coming off a 20-point game against Coker this past Saturday, in which the Pioneers got out of the gate to a wonderful start. His 3.7 assist is 7th in the South Atlantic Conference, and in his last 10 games averaging 14.5 points a contest for this Pioneer basketball team. Big reason why the Pioneers are riding a high coming into tonight. Looking and eyeing a top-tier seeding. Will they get it? They'll need a win tonight against the Rail Splitters. That hasn't happened in a long time. Last win for the Pioneers, 2009. Back with your starting lineups and the opening tip when we return right after this, as you listen to Pioneer Basketball here from the Pioneer Sports Network. So we welcome you back in here to Pioneer Arena as the Pioneers get set to battle the LMU Rail Splitters. Glad you could be with us. Let's take a look at your starting 5 for Lincoln Memorial. They come in at 20-6. They're 14-4 in the league. They are second right now in the conference. So win tonight or the loss by Catawba, and they'll solidify a number 2 spot in next week's South Atlantic Conference tournament. They've won 6 straight, which is second best in the South Atlantic, or I should say tied for first in the league with the Queens Royals. They'll start Courvoisier McCauley, a 6'4 freshman out of Indianapolis, averaging 17.3 points a game in his last 4. Julius Brown, the 5'10 freshman out of Columbus, Ohio, 17 points a game in his last 5. Cameron Calhoun, the 6'5 fourth-year junior out of Sewanee, Georgia. Cameron Henry lit up the Pioneers his last time, finishing with a career-best 22 points on 5 of 9 from 3. The redshirt freshman from Chesterfield, Virginia. And Cornelius Taylor, the preseason All-America candidate, the 6' fourth-year junior out of Claxton, Georgia, has scored double figures in 19 of 21. He leads the team in scoring. Josh Schertz is the head coach. He's had nothing but success since he stepped foot into LMU. The first game they played against the Pioneers, he lost it. Since then, he's won 25 straight. He's 25-1 against the Tusculum Pioneers in his 11 years with 286 wins. For the Pioneers, speaking of, coming in here riding a 4-game winning streak, they'll go with Tariq Jenkins tonight, the 6'2 junior out of Riverdale, Georgia. It'll be Jackie Davis, the 6'4 senior from Long Beach, California. Caleb Hodnett, the 6'8 junior from Adolphus, Kentucky. Trent Gibson, the 6'4 freshman out of Murfreesboro, Tennessee. And Donovan Donaldson, been somewhat of an enigma this year. He'll have a game where he had 32 points like against Newberry, and then he'll go to Coker where he gets 0. For the 6'1 senior out of Nashville, Tennessee, playing his penultimate home game as his senior campaign, along with Malik Tyree, Jackie Davis, and Austin Hall for this Pioneer basketball team, and those being the seniors. The Pioneers are led by J.T. Burton. His mama knows him as James Tyler. He has 109 career wins in his 7 years at a 4-year institution. He's got the Pioneers at 14-12, over 500 for the first time since 2010 this late in the year. And against Lincoln Memorial, coming up with that very tough loss the first time they played over a month ago. Wallace Hardy is our referee. Our umpires, Jordan Arnold and Kurt Tackett, here tonight. That last game against the Rail Splitters, Cameron Calhoun had a career-high 27, and Cameron Henry added a career-best 22 as they held off the Pioneers' comeback bid, 86-72. They got off to the great start in the first half, and the Pioneers were just unable to recover in that time frame. So Wallace Hardy will throw it up. Henry will jump center circle with Hodnett. The opening tip will be taken by the Rail Splitters. Glad you could be with us here at Pioneer Arena. Thanks to Justin Jeffers, who was able to prevail the Tusculum women to a victory in game number 1. And we've got a whistle already as Jackie Davis, battling with Calhoun inside, will be whistled for that foul. So Davis will pick up his first, and that will be the team's first as well. Just 12 seconds in. Rail Splitter team that's been the perennial favorite for a conference title, and this will be Courvoisier McCauley knocking down the 3, 39% from downtown, and just as they started against the Pioneers a month ago, they start with their first shot from downtown that goes in. 3-0 LMU. Again, they perennial favorite to win the conference title. They are the defending tournament champions from a year ago. But Queens will have something to say about that this year. They swept LMU this year. This will be Gibson, and a nice little bucket in the paint for the Pioneers. It's 3-2 LMU. Rail Splitters in the front court. A minute gone here in this opening half. Courvoisier hands it off inside Calhoun. They'll kick it out. This will be a 3 that's blocked by Hodnett. Hodnett got a piece of the 3 attempt from Cameron Henry this time. Gibson goes the other way for the Pioneers. Deep 3, Donaldson. Short. And the rebound taken by LMU. Brown on the run into the front court. A bit out of control. Throw it back out to Calhoun. Inside the paint, Courvoisier McCauley will draw the foul against the Pioneers inside. It's like saying the name. Foul will go on Hodnett. Will be his first. So McCauley turned in the 4th straight double-digit scoring effort in the win against Catawba. He made his 4th start of the year. He's averaging 13 points a game in February, and he's shooting 45% from 3. Well, he's already showed off the 3 prowess as he knocks in the first shot of the game from way downtown. Also pretty good at the free throw line, knocking in the first. And the second. McCauley hitting 65% from the free throw line. And 17.3 points a game in his last 4 gives the Rail Splitters a 5-2 edge. Jumper by Gibson to answer. Trent Gibson with a good answer for the Pioneers. Henry will take it into the front court for LMU. Pioneers in a man-to-man. Hodnett, a clear out, missing on the drive. The rebound goes right to Henry, who was laying on his backside. It'll be Calhoun driving on Davis in the paint. Up close, no good. Rebounded by Donaldson. Pioneers race it into the front court, down 1. Donaldson matched a career-high 32 against Newberry. He'd had a 32 in the overtime win against Wingate, but he's coming off 0 against Coker. Little pick and roll with Hodnett for the lead. It's good. Caleb Hodnett with the bucket. Back-to-back double-doubles in wins against Mars Hill and LR, where he earned Conference Player of the Week, averaging 20.5 points and 11 rebounds in that week. Henry dribble drive. Baseline 3, that's no good. Rebounded by the Pioneers. Tariq Jenkins, as we played 3 minutes in the first half. Davis.
Look at him. Give it to him.
Jenkins into the corner.
10.
Good D by LMU. It's what they do so well. Long-range jumper that's no good. Loose ball picked up by Brown near the midcourt stripe for the Rail Splitters. Here's Taylor. He'll pull up for 3. Yep. Cornelius Taylor knocking down the 3 ball. Hitting under 35% this year, but he went through a mid-season, you call it a crisis? You have the midlife crisis, which they've debunked, by the way. Maybe a mid-season crisis for him. He went out with an injury, missed about 11 days, span of about 3, maybe 4 games. And as he came back, they lost to Carson Newman. I believe he was something like 20% from the field, took 27 shots in a game. Davis, little step through, somehow with enough English off the front of the rim and in. Tied at 8. Brown watched by Gibson. The Pioneers in the zone. Changed up that defense. Taylor knocked away, but he got it back. McCauley fakes a 3, and then Davis is going to be whistled for a foul, which will take us to a timeout. An unpopular call here at Pioneer Arena. Back to Pioneer Arena after this. 15:33 to play here in this first half. It's Tusculum and LMU tied at 8.
We are in Granger County, Tennessee, here at Pierce Farms, and the Pierce family has been working with Ingalls for over 30 years. It means a great deal supplying produce as a local farmer. It really touches base knowing that we're just simple people just trying to help, and we love what we do, and Ingalls is a huge part of helping us do it. Farming is who we are, and it's in our blood. God has really blessed us with the sun and the soil to grow the best tomatoes you'll find anywhere. I believe it's really in the soil. So if you're in Granger County, you farm tomatoes, then you're in. Just a great blessing on us to actually farm and be able to farm and to supply tomatoes to people. And Ingalls really cares about family farms like Pierce Farms, and they really care about their customers. We're just glad to be a part of that. God has blessed us with a really great partnership there. They make fresh local produce have real meaning for lots of people. I'm Shane Pierce, and this is my Ingalls story.
So this Pioneer basketball team, 4 of 6 shooting starts against the Rail Splitters. We're tied at 8. LMU has hit 2 of 6, and both have been from 3. LMU from three-point territory ranked 9th in three-pointers in the nation this year. Little jumper inside and a whistle. It'll go the other way. This is a makeup call. This will go on Henry. Henry will pick up his first. Yeah, the last foul on Jackie Davis was not a foul. He kind of jumped and went by his defender, and I don't know if a shoelace might have just kind of grazed his shorts or something, but that's about all the contact there was. In other words, there was very little. Pioneer ball tied at 8. Dylan Smith. Honnet. Gibson off to a good start. 2 for 2 from the field. Pulls up in the paint. This one is off the mark and no good. Rebound by Mitchell is tipped off of LMU, then off of Mitchell. LMU basketball. McCauley leading LMU. He has 5 and 3 for Cornelius Taylor. 1 shot, 1 make. McCauley for 3. Good. Corvassier McCauley. Boy, he's going to be good. True freshman playing for Josh Schertz. And that's rare as well for Coach Schertz. He likes to bring him in, get him accustomed to the collegiate game, and give them that red shirt year to get used to it and warmed up to it. Not this kid. Throw him right to the fire. 11-8 LMU. 3 by Donaldson. Answers. And the Pioneers continue that streak, which is impressive. For Tusculum, 888, now 889 of their last 890 games. They've hit a 3. That's 180 straight games as Donaldson had scored since midway through the second half against Carson Newman. And now attacking the glass with an offensive rebound chance was McCauley, and he's fouled. A little dribble drive. You don't normally see LMU miss inside. And this foul is going to go on Gibson. So, for the Pioneers, this is the stat normally held by LMU. First in the conference in scoring defense, second in field goal percentage defense. Queens and LMU have always been number 1, but Tusculum second, allowing teams just 42% from the field. McCauley missing on the first attempt from the free throw line. Again, just 65%. But that belongs to Tusculum this year. They're ranked in the top 50 in the country. Tusculum second in block shots per game. And you've got the talent that LMU has had over the last couple of years. Emmanuel Terry playing in the NBA, earning that NBA roster spot. National Player of the Year. Just that type of caliber of talent they have. They blocked a lot of shots. Dorian Pinson, one of my all-time favorite rail splitters, Dorian Pinson. Just a guy, the glue. Gets everything done. 12-11, LMU. Dylan Smith has hit some big shots here over the last few games. Carson Newman was big against Coker. Donaldson, tough fadeaway is good. Oh, get Donaldson going like that will be impressive. First 2 years at Trevecca Nazarene. Over, well, almost 1,200 points now in his collegiate career. Julius Brown did not start the last time these teams played. Came off the bench. Here's Alex Dalling missing a layup. Pioneer rebound. Gibson. Cam King is checked into the contest for the Pioneers as well. Donaldson, a tough scoop shot. Somehow the circus shot goes in. Pioneers lead LMU by 3. Calhoun. Taylor for 3. That's going to roll in good. Soft rim that time. Rail Splitters claim the nation's second best field goal percentage defense. See, they're first in the league, just ahead of Tusculum. They only allow teams to shoot 38%. But Queens and LMU have been in the top 2 spots over the last few years with Wingate. Now Tusculum's into that conversation. We're tied at 15. Donaldson, heat check 3. Fade away, that's no good. King with an offensive rebound. Gibson circus shot behind the back. King rebound over. Dalling is good. Tusculum, the best offensive rebounding team in the league, flexing their muscle on that possession after a couple of ill-advised shots. Donaldson and then Gibson, they were just a little bit off balance. We're under 12 in the first half. Tusculum by 2. Brown, McCauley. Shortened bench for Coach Schertz. And a whistle for a slight bump. behind the three-point stripe on Donaldson. That'll take us to a timeout. We'll take that break as well and return to Pioneer Arena after this. 11:50 to play in the first half, and Tusculum leads LMU by 2.
Family.
Food's here!
What's it mean to you?
We got lunch.
To us, it means the people you care about, look out for, and yeah, love. Even if you'd never let them hear you say it.
Hey, you're eating hummus?
What's wrong with hummus?
Here at Ingalls, we have everything you need to gather around the table and give each other a hard time. Because that's what families do. Ingalls. All the ingredients for family.
So the Pioneers and the Rail Splitters. A lot talked about over the the Josh Schertz era. 26 games he's coached, 25-1. I mentioned the fact that he lost his first game he coached against the Pioneers. It wasn't the first. It was the second. They won the first one 59-55 in a free throw battle. Tommy Klimpin and the Pioneers should have had an and one late. At least that's how Jim Boone explained it to me. And LMU won at 59-51. The Pioneers would get revenge a month later and win 74-71, but since then it's been all LMU as they have won 24 consecutive in the Schertz era. 17, it was some dark days there for LMU as well. Long time there. I mean, this has always been a proud program. I mean, they dominate in this series. 134-43. And he missed 3 by Dalling as we welcome you back in. Pioneers with a 2-point lead. And they're off to a good shooting start as well. 8 of 13. That always helps. You make shots, you're pretty good. Gibson missing a shot. King battling for the rebound. And J.T. Burton makes a better door than a window. And it goes out of play. I guess it was last touched by LMU. I couldn't tell. So we need the monitors down here at Forsberg. If you had monitors down, I'm going to see that stuff, you know what I mean? Another jumper that's no good, and the rebound taken by LMU. On the move into the front court is Anthony Brown. He started last time against the Pioneers. He's on the floor, the transfer. Little kick out to Dalling for 3. Always a guy. Alex Dalling, the lead. The Cincinnati product out of Summit Country Day. He hits 42% from threes, 1 for 2 today. Just 5 points, though, in his last 2 games. But here's a guy that has been a third scorer, sometimes fourth scorer, 9.5 points a game this year for Dalling. Gibson, Pioneers a little dry on the offense here of late. Smith, a deep 3. Holy cow, that's good. That's a bang. Dylan Smith. About the spot he hit it on Mossy Creek. Pioneers back in front, 20-18. Brown. Long 3 by Taylor is good. Cornelius Taylor knocks down the 3. Back-to-back 3-pointers by the Rail Splitters. They claim the nation's second-best field goal percentage defensively, but they also have hit the 9th most 3-pointers in the nation this year at 303 coming in, the 4th highest in school history. They've had some 3-point shooting teams, so that's pretty impressive this year. And a whistle for a foul as Dalling tries to run through Brandon Mitchell. And Dalling's going to be whistled for a foul. That's frowned upon here. You can't run through people. 21-20 LMU. And again, they warmed it up from 3. 6 of 9 from 3-point territory. And all J.T. Burton can do is just kind of grimace every time they take a 3 and make a 3. Because we're pretty good not giving up many 3s. We defend that 3-point line better than most. But the second half's when they defend the 3-point line really well. Pioneers have hit 56%. LMU's hit 43% of their shots. I don't know what we're trying to figure out something, but I'm not sure what it is. So coming up next week, it's the Pilot Flying J South Atlantic Conference Tournament as that gets underway from conference sites on Wednesday. We already know that Queens will be taking on Carson Newman, but after that, everything else is up for grabs. We know the top 8 teams. Queens is 1, Carson Newman's 8. Then all those in the middle. LMU, Catawba, Wingate, LR, Tusculum, and Anderson from 2 through 7 can all be jumbled. LMU can solidify number 2 tonight. Tusculum's 2 games back of Wingate and Catawba for number 3 or 4. Of course, they were swept by Catawba. They can sweep Wingate this Saturday as they have the overtime win earlier. They split with the Lenoir-Rhyne Bears, but LR has the win against Queens, so there's the tiebreaker there. So they're just going to have to be better than LR. LR has a tough stretch. Yes, they do. It's not going to be easy for them as LR has Catawba tonight, and then they have LMU at home in Hickory on Saturday. LMU ending the season on the road. They have their senior day Saturday. Of course, not a whole lot of seniors for them to worry about. A whistle as we return to action. I still don't know who it's on. Is it Hackett? Suppose it is. So Rondi Hackett's going to pick up his first for LMU. 3 on the team. Smith on the inbound for the Pioneers. King and Mitchell out there with Donaldson and Gibson. Gibson goes baseline. King, a 15-foot jumper, in and out, no good, but rebounded by Brandon Mitchell. Mitchell working against Dahling, gives it up to King, who dunks it down. 22-21. Another offensive rebound for the Pioneers. They're 4th here in the first half. 9 to play, thereabouts. Taylor pulls up on Gibson, short. Long rebound, though, right back out to Taylor. Drives on King, and he lost it going up. King just jumped straight up, but maybe Mitchell got him. Yeah, that's it. King jumped straight up, but it was Mitchell that kind of leaned into him. So Mitchell whistled for his first. And it's going to send Taylor to the free throw line. Listen, despite their 6 losses this year, when you look at the standings for LMU over the last 10 years and they got 6 losses, you're like, what? They went to the national championship game with 6 losses. Keep that in mind. Or with 5 losses. They had 6 losses that year when they went to the national title game and eventually lost. But despite that, they ranked 15th in the nation in scoring margin. They're outscoring people by 13 points a game. Pioneers are a +2. You look at that. Taylor, who hits the first free throw, he's nearly automatic there, 85%. Back to the free throw line for his second, and that one's good. McCauley will come in for him. LMU again by 1. Gibson coming off the 20-point game against Coker. 3 times this year he's gone over 20, including the 21 he had against Catawba for his career best. Jenkins goes between the legs, then nearly fumbled it away, then dribbles again. Hall fires a 3. That's not good. And the rebound taken by LMU. Brown forces tempo for the Rail Splitters into the front court. Pioneers in a man-to-man, and then a steal and a foul. It's going to go against LMU. And this will be the second on Cameron Henry. Again, he had the career game 22 against the Pioneers where he hit 5 of 9 from 3. And he's playing quite well of late. In his last 3 games, 15.7 points a game for the redshirt freshman from Chesterfield, Virginia. Always like the high school names because they're always named after somebody historic and popular. Maybe an astronaut or something, you know. Lloyd C. Byrd High School. I feel like it would be probably a milestone if I ever had a high school named after me. That'd be one of the things. I joked with my grandfather for a long time because he worked at Bryan Station High School in Lexington, Kentucky. I said, hey, you work at my high school. 3 ball by Smith is no good, and the Rail Splitters with the rebound and a 1-point lead. Hackett might have walked, got away with it. Brown, Taylor. McCauley, 10 to shoot, driving. And a whistle to stop play for a foul. And a timeout on the floor as the foul goes, I think, on Caleb Hodnett. We'll take the break and return right after this to Pioneer Arena. 7:32 to play. First half, the Rail Splitters lead the Pioneers by 1. LMU has rallied. 8 lead changes, 4 ties as the Pioneers have led by 3. LMU has led by 3. LMU will have the lead, and free throws for McCauley. 10 of 20 from the field for the Pioneers, 6 of 15 from the field for the Rail Splitters, who's also gone to the free throw line 6 times already to Tusculum 0. McCauley hitting the first. He's been good there. 4 of 5 from the free throw line for Courvoisier. Already into double figures. Cornelius Taylor's in double figures as well. That's 20 of 22 games this year for Taylor. So at the stripe, McCauley makes them both, and it's a 3-point lead at 25-22. LMU has not scored in the paint yet. They've hit 6 3-pointers and made 7 free throws. Hall, Dylan Smith fakes a 3, got a closer look and scored it. 25-24. Already a much better first half for the Pioneers than we went down there and played in the building that Tex built. Because it's almost like sticker shock. It's kind of what we faced in the first half. Then we realized, well, we could play with it. This guy right here, not many can play with him. Cornelius Taylor. That's another big 3-ball. That's the 7th 3 of the half for the Rail Splitters, and he's already out to 14 points. Gibson with some contact. And it'll be the first free throws for the Pioneers of the game. This one will go on Courvoisier McCauley. 5th against the Rail Splitters in this one. Now we're going to stop play once again. We're going to have a meeting with the officials. They're probably discussing things like, do we get our dinner paid for, or was it just the meal before the game that get paid for? Because I'm already hungry. I have no idea. They're talking about popcorn, I think. The popcorn's good here, too. Roxy does a good job with the popcorn, keeps it fresh. What are we doing? Why are we talking about Caleb Hodnett? He's going to come out of the game with 2 personal fouls. And we're going to go over and talk once again. And so we're trying to figure out, because Hodnett wasn't even in the game when we called that last foul. And they said it was 14, but I couldn't really see the they're going to say it was on Hodnett. Wallace Hardy is not changing his call. He's going to say no. The last foul that happened about 18 minutes ago, actual time, was on Caleb Hodnett, who will come out with 2 personal fouls. JT and the rest of the planet thought that the foul was on Austin Hall. Even Josh Schertz thought that. He's like, they've changed it to who? Meanwhile, Gibson goes 1 of 2. So 28-25, Splitters with the advantage. Brown to Hackett to the hot man. That's another one. Taylor with the 3, and nobody defending Taylor. It's the 8th three-pointer of the half for the Rail Splitters. And it comes as very little surprise. You just can't go to sleep on this team. I talked about it. They've hit the 9th most three-pointers in the nation this season with 303. Now they're at 311. It's the 4th highest total in program history. 5 players have hit at least 37. Taylor has the most with Alex Dalling, but not now. It's now Taylor. What's Taylor hit? 5 in the game? 5 for 5 from downtown and 2 free throws. That'll boost your numbers. Hadn't been scoring the ball that well here over the last 3 games. As a matter of fact, his numbers, his average have dropped from 19 points a game to 17.1. And for it to drop 2 points a game, that is, well, to be quite honest with you, that's monumental. Hall missing, tipping, no, getting it back, the Pioneers. Donaldson a 3. Got to start answering. Gibson a rebound. He goes up with the contact but can't finish. 31-25 is the largest lead of this basketball game for the Rail Splitters. And that last time these teams played, LMU got out to just, what was that, like a 29-point lead in the first half? Led by as many as 27 in the second half. And Tusculum had an early 11-9 lead after Dylan Smith hit a 3. It was all over. Henry went back-to-back. It was a 9-0 run. It was 23-14, then 35-20. Then it was 44-27 going to the locker room. And we were just like, what train hit us? Here it's 31-27. Get a couple of free throws that time by Gibson. Brown, that's a mishandled dribble. Taylor shoving off with his offhand, can't hit inside. He was too close. Donaldson streaking the other way. Gives it up to Mitchell, lays it up and in. You got to play without fear against the Abe Lincolns. Across the stripe will be Brown. They're at the half. Anderson leads Mars Hill. Need Mars Hill to win that one. 3 ball by Brown. This one is no good. But an offensive rebound. Long rebound by McCauley. In the first half, Queens is leading Wingate. They're up 9. McCauley, desperation 3 is no good. Rebounded by Gibson. Catawba is throttling LR. Gibson. Little teardrop, rolls all the way around the rim and good. Catawba's leading LR in Salisbury 34-16. That actually will help the Pioneers, but they've got to win here tonight. And Coker and Newberry playing for nothing, just pride. Newberry and Coker, 34-33. Coker trying to end a 14-game slide. Donaldson slipping as he gets into the paint, but there's Gibson, and he'll draw a foul with the game tied up. A chance for the Pioneers to reclaim the lead. And I can't, when Wallace Hardy gives up the fingers, he gives up like, the fingers where it looks like it's 33-43. And there's not a 43 out there. So it's Stephen Perrier who picks up the fouls first, team 6th. Gibson missing at the line, which is a shocker because he's 76% at the stripe. He's missed 2 free throws in the game. His last 10 games at 14.5 points a game. He made the second one for the freshman out of Murfreesboro, Tennessee, Blackman High School. Congratulations to his high school. They stay alive. They're in a regional final tomorrow. 32-31, the Pioneers have rallied. After trailing it, they're on a 7-0 run to take the lead. McCauley walks, throws it at the rim. It goes right to Calhoun, who gives it up to Perrier. Out of control was McCauley in the paint. He got away with steps. It's the lead again for the Rail Splitters, 33-32. We go under 4. Tariq Jenkins. Mitchell. And J.T. Burton wanted him to take it right to the rim. And it was wide open. He had it. Dylan Smith, 5 seconds. Jenkins, he'll have to fire a deep three. Is no good. And the rebound to the Splitters into the front court. Taylor. Perrier. Taylor. McCauley, baseline three, good. Shot makers making shots. Jenkins needed to take that last drive. It's exactly what his coach is reminding him. 10 for Gibson, 7 for Donaldson. Mitchell, a three. That's well short. And a whistle for a foul. And they'll take us to a timeout. The foul's on Cam King, his first. 1-1 coming up for LMU. When we come back right after this, 3:11 to play in this first half. And the Rail Splitters watch the Pioneers go on a 7-0 run. They've answered with their own run, 5-0. The Splitters lead by 4. So 36-32, Rail Splitters leading on a 5-0 run. And Perrier will go to the free throw line. The 50-year senior out of Paris, France from Sinclair Community College. 21 appearances last year. Best this season, 9 points against Tawassee. He's automatic at the free throw line. He's 91%. We had an Australian set the all-time school record for free throw percentage in a year. They just make free throws. Perrier knocks in 2 more. 7-0 run, answering the Pioneers' 7-0 run. And it's 38-32. Splitters by 6, 3 minutes to the half. Mitchell spins, shoots, scores. Man, he's so good. When he gets a mindset that he's going to score with that little half baby hook, it's really good. Babies couldn't make that shot, though. I don't even know why they call it a baby hook. Maybe I just make that up. Dolly. McCauley. Here's Calhoun. Mitchell defending him. Reverse. What a good finish. Calhoun went up against the conference's second best shot blocker and won the battle. 40-34, Rail Splitters. Smith. Mitchell. He'll try a 19-footer off the dribble, is no good. I'm not sure why we're taking that shot from that kid. He needs to get inside. That's old school of me. 3 ball by Perrier. That one is no good. And a whistle for a foul And it's going to go on Mitchell. That's going to be his second. So after a missed shot, on a bad take off the dribble from 19 feet, Gibson's going to come in for Brandon. We're going to send more guys to the free throw line. It's going to be Calhoun who's going to go to the stripe at 72%. First by Calhoun is up and good. So a couple of more by Calhoun. He scored 4 straight. The Rail Splitters have the largest lead of the half. It's 42-34. It's an 11-2 run by LMU. Smith, watched by Dolling. Donaldson. And an illegal screen going against the Pioneers, going to turn it over. So King's going to pick up his second, and he'll turn the ball over as well. With a minute 38. And now the Pioneers are going to get a warning for coaching. You always love getting the warnings for when you're doing your job. It makes it as if you're validated. Illegal screen on LMU. All's fair in love and war. Josh Schertz is he's not going to get it, no. These officials are having a good time out here, though. Perrier is going to be whistled for his second. He'll turn the ball over. (42-34). Donaldson's shorts were grabbed, and then they're going to say he's tied up. That's a tough decision on an official who didn't see it. Dolling grabbed at Donaldson's elbow all the way in. First his shorts were grabbed, then the elbow got grabbed. He didn't argue it much. We're just playing ball. Don't you like that? Gibson, maybe an ill-advised 3. King battling to keep the rebound alive. He does. It's physical. It's part of the game. Anymore, we go under a minute. Donaldson working against Taylor. Nowhere to go. Taylor stays right in front of him. Gibson will find a way to get through for the jumper, and as expected, a timeout will be asked for by Josh Schertz. That burn it or lose it timeout, which he takes usually inside 30 seconds or on their last possession, wherever it may be. But a good take, a good dribble drive by Gibson to get in there. All right, so for our TV audience, we will be joining our radio broadcast. We've been covering high school basketball for our radio. That'll be joining us here at the half, so we'll kind of change up our point of attack, and you'll hear me saying a whole lot more stuff during breaks and less stuff during non-breaks. So that'll be coming up where we'll join Jewel 95.5 FM, which has been broadcasting North Green's end of the year as they lose to the Cosby Eagles tonight. And their season comes to an end, so North Green will not make a return trip to the boys' state championships as they did last year. Cosby will get that. The South Green Lady Rebels have won the 12th regional championship for them. They win tonight over Granger, winning a district tournament championship and a regional tournament championship. 42-36 out of the timeout. Rail Splitters. Perrier. Taylor. Backdoor to Calhoun. Layup is good. Rare points in the paint for the Rail Splitters. Well executed timeout. 44-36 LMU. Pioneers trying to end 24-game losing streak to this group. Donaldson. Jenkins. He'll drive it, put it up, and I don't know how it went in. It will go in to end the first half despite Dalling's attempt. And holy cow, can you believe that? So Jenkins scores it, and the Pioneers rally with a little momentum right here at the half. Will go to the locker room trailing by only 6, and it could have been worse. We'll have an extended break for our TV viewership, and when we come back, we'll be joined by our radio listenership, and that's when we continue with more Pioneer basketball. We're at the half. It's LMU 44 and Tusculum 38. Pioneer basketball continues right after this on the Pioneer Sports Network.
Family.
Food's here!
What's it mean to you?
We got lunch.
To us, it means the people you care about, look out for, and yeah, love. Even if you'd never let them hear you say it.
Hey, you're eating hummus?
What's wrong with hummus?
Here at Ingalls, we have everything you need to gather around the table and give each other a hard time. Because that's what families do. Ingalls. All the ingredients for family.
We are in Granger County, Tennessee, here at Pierce Farms, and the Pierce family has been working with Ingalls for over 30 years. It means a great deal supplying produce as a local farmer. It really touches base knowing that we're just simple people just trying to help, and we love what we do, and Ingalls is a huge part of helping us do it. Farming is who we are, and it's in our blood. God has really blessed us with the sun and the soil to grow the best tomatoes you'll find anywhere. I believe it's really in the soil. So if you're in Granger County and you farm tomatoes, then you're in. Just a great blessing on us to actually farm and be able to farm and to supply tomatoes to people. And Ingalls really cares about family farms like Pierce Farms, and they really care about their customers. We're just glad to be a part of that. God has blessed us with a really great partnership there. They make fresh local produce have real meaning for lots of people. I'm Shane Pierce, and this is my Ingalls story. We are in Granger County, Tennessee, here at Pierce Farms, and the Pierce family has been working with Ingalls for over 30 years. It means a great deal supplying produce as a local farmer. It really touches base knowing that we're just simple people just trying to help, and we love what we do, and Ingalls is a huge part of helping us do it. Farming is who we are, and it's in our blood. God has really blessed us with the sun and the soil to grow the best tomatoes you'll find anywhere. I believe it's really in the soil. So if you're in Granger County and you farm tomatoes, then you're in. Just a great blessing on us to actually farm and be able to farm and to supply tomatoes to people. And Ingalls really cares about family farms like Pierce Farms, and they really care about their customers. We're just glad to be a part of that. God has blessed us with a really great partnership there. They make fresh local produce have real meaning for lots of people. I'm Shane Pierce, and this is my Ingalls story.
So 44-38 is our score here at halftime. And again, we welcome all of those who have been listening to the North Green Huskies and their season come to an end, unfortunately for them, in the semifinals of the Region 1 Single A here on radio. And we welcome our viewers from the web. LMU, a great first half for them shooting the three. They're going to try to keep that going. They don't here, rebounded by Donaldson as we welcome you into the second half. It's 44-38, Pioneer basketball. They go right to left on your radio dial as I view it. Brian Staten courtside, game station engineer, is the executive producer of the Pioneer Sports Network, Nathan Humber. Three-pointer by Jackie Davis. He had all day, and he brought rain, and it went in. It's his first three-pointer of the year and of his career. It doesn't take many. So that's a milestone three for Jackie Davis. Mark that one down in your history books. Good stuff, Jackie. Little runner inside by Calhoun. He's going to be fouled as the Pioneers cut the deficit to three on our third made three. And a whistle on 43 or 34. We don't have 34. We do have 33. That's Trent Gibson. That'll be his second. Team foul number one. I have not been able to read the fingers very well tonight from the officials. I don't know if their fingers are broken or I'm just looking sideways or cross-eyed. Calhoun at the free throw line. That one is no good. It's short. So in the first half, I was looking, and the official put up his fingers, and I thought, that can't be right. Calhoun missed them both, and the Pioneers rebounded. So 44-41. LMU leads by three, Pioneer ball. Gibson, Davis, lobbing it to Hodnett, and they crash on him. And Henry, who's just had a rough go of it tonight here at for LMU, is going to pick up his third personal foul. He just hasn't been able to stay on the floor. So we lob it to Hodnett, who has been relegated to ineffective because of a phantom foul he picked up in the first half. He has 2 first-half points. And then he had to go sit down after his second foul where he wasn't even involved in the play. As a matter of fact, I didn't even know he was on the floor. Jackie Davis hands it off to Donaldson. Donaldson on the dribble with 3 to shoot. Splits a double team, and actually they're going to get bailed out on a reach by LMU. I think it's Julius Brown. No, it's on Calhoun. That'll be his first. Again, J.T. Burton likes to make my job very difficult. Makes a much better door than a window. And today's been that French door, you know, like the utility door. Oh, we turned it over on the inbound. The pass was to go to Hodnett, and Gibson, I think, fumbled it. Then Gibson is going to pick the pocket of Brown and get it right back. Long pass up ahead to Jenkins. He'll go up and finish with some contact and one. Tariq Jenkins with the bucket and the foul. It'll go on Calhoun as well. That'll be his second. A chance to tie the game up. Into the game will return Anthony Brown. Did not start. Averaging 11.7 points a game on the year is Anthony, but just 5 points per game in his last 2. Had just 4 against Tusculum. Coming off a 22-point game against Catawba. At the stripe will be Jenkins for the Pioneers. So Jenkins will step in and knock down the free throw to tie the game. Pioneers have opened 6-0 spurt to start the second half. Into the front court is Brown. Brown gives it up into the hands of Taylor. Brown in the paint. Little runner is good. Well, that ends that run after being tied at 44. 46-44 LMU. We played 2 minutes. Second half. Gibson driving. Had his shot blocked by McCauley. Good block there by Courvoisier. Pioneers moving it right to left on your radio or from Joyce to Midge as we view it here in this second half. On the inbound, if you're watching, opposite. Jenkins for three. In and out is no good, and the rebound taken. Big bucket needed to go, it wouldn't. Taylor into the front court for LMU. Big first half, he'll try a three. This one is in and out, no good, but the volleyball tip in by Perrier is good. Just kind of like a little set or a pass in volleyball. He just tipped it right in. 48-44 LMU. Hodnett. Bang! It's a one-point game. LMU 48-47. Anthony Brown takes it across the stripe for the Rail Splitters. Brown driving baseline. Cut off by Jenkins. Little drop pass down inside to Henry is no good. Perrier offensive rebound. His putback is no good, and the rebound by Hodnett. Here comes Gibson. Gibson into the front court for Tusculum. On a triple team, had it go through his legs, somehow found it again. Well, LMU is so good defensively. They come with help. They're active with their hands. Jenkins reversing it to Davis, and then it's knocked out of bounds, and it's last touched by LMU out of play. The official is going to award the ball to LMU, but it was last hit by McCauley out of play. The officials got together, and as a matter of fact, the official on the baseline really had the best view of it, and he was going to give it to LMU, but they discussed it. Davis, 5 to shoot, 4 to shoot. Gibson will pull up over Brown. That's no good, and the rebound, scramble for it, taken away by Henry. Stays out there with those 3 fouls for LMU. This pass nearly stolen it is. Jenkins with the steal. He'll drive it on McCauley, and he'll draw the foul. Courvoisier will be whistled for his second personal foul after he gave up the ball. Jenkins with the steal. Very few turnovers in this basketball game. Ball security is key. 3 on LMU, 2 on the Pioneers, who have a chance for the lead at the free throw line for Tariq Jenkins. That's not going to do it. Dalling will come in. Colley will exit. Second free throw attempt for Jenkins. That one's short after going strong on the first. Still can't get that lead. It's just like we're so close. If you could see my hands, my index finger and thumb are real close together. Perrier with the dunk. 50-47 Rail Splitters. Pioneers had a chance for the lead, couldn't grab it. Last lead the Pioneers had was 32-31. 3. No. Hodnett had the rebound. Pioneers, I think, have it again. I can't see through Wallace Hardy or J.T. Burton. And now an offensive foul on the Pioneers. And it'll go on Gibson. That's going to be his third. He looks over in disgust, and that'll take us to a timeout on the floor. We'll take the break and return in a minute. 15:41 to play in the game. LMU 50, Tusculum 47. Pioneer basketball continues after this on the Pioneer Sports Network.
crud.
Oops. Lincoln Memorial leading the Pioneers 50-47 here. LMU's hit 9 of 17 from 3. 9 of those makes in the first half, all 9. They've gone 0 for 2 here in the second half. The Pioneers have made 4 3-pointers, 2 here in the second half. Henry with the nice little drive to the rim, puts it in. Pioneers, who moments ago had a chance for the lead, now trail by 5, 52-47. We've had a combined 7 turnovers in this basketball game. 4 for LMU, 3 for the Pioneers. Mitchell at the top of the key. Dylan Smith, he'll try a 3 around Mitchell. In and out is no good. Rebounded by Anthony Brown. Brown looking to run. Head up, weaving his way through traffic. Into the lane, right down Broadway, puts it in. And a timeout is going to be asked for by J.T. Burton. And we'll take that break as well and step aside for 1 more minute. 15:01 to play in the game. It's LMU 54 and Tusculum 47. Pioneer basketball continues after this on the Pioneers Sports Network.
Family.
Memorial. Once again, the voice of the Pioneers.
54-47, Lincoln Memorial on a 6-0 run. Tariq Jenkins, left side to Smith. Donaldson out there as well. Hodnett. Jenkins. Here's Mitchell. 10 to shoot. Donaldson on the baseline. Double team. Mitchell, 15-footer is good. Good touch from there. 19-22, a little suspect. 54-49, rail splitters. LMU basketball across the stripe. Against the zone by the Pioneers. Brown will penetrate. Perrier, 19-footer, and that's good. Straight down. Stephen Perrier, 3 points a game. Season best, career best, 9 against Hiwassee. Averages 2.8 points a game last year. And Perrier having a good game. He's 3 of 4 from the field with those 8 points and 2 for 2 at the free throw line. One shy of that career number. As a matter of fact, he now has it. That's 10 points for Perrier. Mitchell is rejected by Perrier. 7 to shoot for Tusculum. On the inbound, this will be Jenkins. Smith, a tough baseline 3. Somehow it goes. Hits the rim, hits the top of the backboard, and goes through. You can't even make that stuff up in the game of horse. That's a tough out. That's a tough letter. 56-52. Taylor lobbing it to Perrier, knocked away by Mitchell, and a foul. Wallace Hardy found a foul somewhere. Who are they going to get here? Donaldson? They got him with the forearm. Boy, that's a tough call here at home in the South Atlantic Conference. I've seen enough of that to make me sick. Wingate has rallied to tie the game with Queens. They're tied at 55. They have just about the entire second half to go. LR is rallying. They're down 5 to Catawba after trailing by double digits. Anderson still leads Mars Hill. In other conference action, we're scoreboard watching. Brown working against Mitchell. Up and under, and he missed it. Rebounded by Mitchell. Smith gets away from Henry. Long pass front court. Donaldson working against Dolling. Into the lane. A lot of contact and finishes. There's more contact there than an MMA fight. 56-54. Rail Splitters by 2. Pioneers trying to bring some fight. They just have not executed with the chance to take the lead. Tusculum gets close. LMU rallies. Taylor jumper is no good, and the rebound by Donaldson. Pioneer basketball into the front court. Donovan weaving his way through traffic. Little scoop shot is up and good to tie it at 56. Josh Schertz is going to ask for that timeout, and he's going to get it here from Pioneer Arena. It's a Pioneer rally as they trail 54-47. Tusculum right now on a 9-2 spurt to tie the game at 56. Tusculum had been at 48-47. We are going to go to a break. So let's go to a break. Back in a minute. 12 and a half to play here in this basketball game. Tusculum 56 and LMU 56 on the Pioneer Sports Network.
Family.
Food's here!
What's it mean to you?
You got lunch.
To us, it means the people you care about, look out for, and yeah, love. Even if you'd never let them hear you say it.
Hey, you're eating hummus?
What's wrong with hummus?
Here at Ingalls, we have everything you need to gather around the table and give each other a hard time. Because that's what families do. Ingalls. All the ingredients for family.
So the Pioneers have rallied thanks to Donovan Donaldson, who went scoreless against Coker. Pioneers have 45 shot attempts in the game to LMU's 36. Tusculum is 51% from the field, LMU at 47%. So the two top field goal percentage defensive teams in the conference. And the offenses are lighting up these defenses. LMU comes into tonight. They are number 5 in the Southeast region. They moved up from number 7 last week. Queens is 1, South Carolina Aiken at 2, Augusta University 3, Pembroke is 4, and then LMU. Right now, Queens is hosting the regional if we were to start the regional, and Tusculum's not in the conversation. Dolling has the ball go through his hands. Jenkins will get it. He'll drive it. He'll draw the foul. Dolling and Calhoun were both there. And the coaching staff trying to get goaltending. They won't win that argument. Dolling picking up the foul, his second. And the 5th turnover on LMU. And that one is one of those unforced. If you're in tennis, you're like, it's an unforced error. We're not in tennis. Although that last rejection by Cameron Calhoun was like a forehand smash. Jenkins at the free throw line makes the first. That's why I brought up the tennis analogy, because Calhoun, he almost put the ball through the glass. He hit it so hard on the rejection. But the Pioneers lead as Jenkins goes 1 of 2 at the strike. 57-56. First lead since 32-31 of the first half. Pioneers have rallied, outscoring LMU 19-12 here in the second half. Backdoor look to Perrier and 1. He gets the dunk, does a little chin up just to show that he can. And Hodnett will be whistled for this foul, I believe. So Hodnett will pick up his 3rd, picked up the Phantom's 2nd foul in the first half, no matter what the officials say. He wasn't even in the play. And now Cam King is going to come in for Hodnett. He's had a rough go of it for the most part tonight. He does have 5 points, including a 3-pointer. Gibson with 12. He's on the bench. The free throw is no good by 91% free throw shooter Stephen Perrier. 58-57 Rail Splitters. Donaldson lighting it up, fading away and knocking it down. Donovan Donaldson has scored 6 straight for Tusculum. 59-58. Well, 6 of the last 7. Brown, Calhoun, lobbing it, Perrier, who's had a field day on a career-high 12. And a tip-in by Calhoun is no good. Rebounded by Dylan Smith. But another offensive second-chance opportunity by LMU. Pioneer ball leading by 1, 59-58. King setting the screen. Donaldson, heat check three. Bang! Donovan Donaldson, are you kidding me? Long way to go, but the Pioneers have a 4-point lead. LMU in the front court. Calhoun found himself open in the paint. Will kick it back out. 3-ball by McCauley. In and out, no good. Rebounded by Brandon Mitchell of the Pioneers. LMU yet to hit a 3 here in the second half. They hit 9 in the first half. .10-20 to play. Donaldson on the dribble. Wants to take the shot. He'll get in. Behind the back. No look to King, who's rejected. McCauley to Henry. Up ahead to Calhoun. Back out into the hands of Brown. Pioneers picking up the defensive effort. Bit amped up right now. Henry a 3. No, can't silence the crowd here from the LMU side. Pioneers with the rebound. Donaldson for 3. Bang! Donovan Donaldson. Pioneers hit the 3. Loving life. And the timeout's going to be asked for by the Rail Splitters, which will leave them with 1. 9:49 to play. 65-58, and Donovan Donaldson is lighting it up. 19 for him. Somewhat of an ineffective first half. I guess you could say that. I don't know why we always do that. Donaldson with 7. He was 1 of 5 from 3 in the first half. 3 of 7 from the field. But he's got unconscious here in this second half. 0 in Hartsville, South Carolina against Coker. And usually when he has a down game, a la Newberry, where he scored 32, or he had, 27 in that contest. 2 times this year he has scored 32 at Wingate, and then 32 it was at Newberry, where he went 11 of 26 from the field. 65-58. A lot of time to go, but the Pioneers give up an easy shot inside on Anthony Brown, ending the drought. But that 7-point lead for the Pioneers, their largest lead against LMU in the second half. And you have to go all the way back to 2012 when LMU won 83-70. Tusculum had a lead on them there. Tariq Jenkins with contact, driving it to the rim and in. 67-60 Tusculum. Dalling from the left wing. Taylor. Dalling. Here's McCauley with 15 to shoot. Swing it to Brown. He'll drive into the paint, go up on King, and score it with contact. Anthony Brown, who has been in a little bit of a slump. 5 points a game in his last 2 games. Had just 4 against Tusculum his last time. Not so much tonight. He has bailed out LMU. He has 6. And the last 4 for the Rail Splitters. 67-62 Tusculum. Dylan Smith on Dalling. They're going to say travel. So the 4th turnover on the Pioneers for the game. So Hodnett and Jackie Davis back in for the Pioneers. So the starting 5 minus Dylan Smith. Smith is out there for the Pioneers. Gibson, who has the foul trouble, 3 fouls. There's 8.5 to play in the game. Taylor on the right side. Brown riding the hot hand. Turnaround is no good. Rebounded by Hodnett of the Pioneers. Tusculum at 54% for the game. LMU now at 46% shooting. Donovan Donaldson driving it, elevating, scoring it. Donovan Donaldson with 21. 69-62. Right side, Cameron Calhoun for the Rail Splitters. McCauley, a three in stride. This one is no good. Rebound taken away by Hodnett. The Pioneers have the ball and a 7-point lead. We go under 8. Donaldson stays with it. 9 of 14 from the field for Donovan Donaldson. Hodnett gives it to Donaldson, 8 to shoot. He wants the ball, and he wants the matchup with Dahling. He'll shoot from 3. This one is no good, ending the streak, and the rebound is tipped out of bounds off Jackie Davis. That'll take us to a timeout on the floor. 7:18 to play in this basketball game. It's Tusculum 69, LMU 62. We go to a break after this word from our friends at Applebee's.
Family.
Food's here!
What's it mean to you?
You got lunch.
To us, it means the people you care about, look out for, and yeah, love. Even if you'd never let them hear you say it.
Hey, you're eating hummus?
What's wrong with hummus?
Here at Ingalls, we have everything you need to gather around the table and give each other a hard time. Because that's what families do. Ingalls. All the ingredients for family.
Welcome you back into Pioneer Arena. Quite possibly a bit premature on the music selection. But the Pioneers are 12 of 20 shooting in the second half. LMU's 9 of 20. And the Pioneers lead 69-62. Rail Splitters with the basketball. McCauley working on Hodnett. Long stride and a great finish. Long stride right to the rim. McCauley makes it a 5-point game, 69-64. Courvoisier with now 16 in the game. Smith, watched by Anthony Brown. Jackie Davis to the foul line. Hit his first career three-pointer just in this second half. That's just a highlight reel. Jenkins with 8 to shoot will pull up off the dribble. Rims, no good, and a whistle for a foul. They're going to count that bucket? We're going to count the bucket? What did he say? Oh, it was just he was waving it off. I didn't think the bucket went in, but I didn't see it at all. Dahling is going to be whistled for the foul. It's his third and the team's 6th. Gibson back in there. He'll inbound it. Lobbing it, and we throw it away again. Another inbound play turned away. Taylor racing right to the rim and in. His first points of the second half. Give him 19, 19 for the game. 69-66. Tusculum. And the Pioneers want a timeout as well here in this basketball game. So the Pioneers will have one remaining in the game. So a reminder, the Pioneers will have their regular season finale and home finale this Saturday when the Wingate Bulldogs come to town to take on the Tusculum Pioneers. The Tusculum women are vying to stay in the top 4 of the South Atlantic Conference as they need a win there against a team that's in the top 4 already, Wingate, and a team that they lost to earlier this year. For the men, a sweep of Wingate would be sweet, and it would help their standings and the way this thing is going in the South Atlantic Conference. Anything is possible except the top seed and the 8th seed. Tusculum can't fall any further than 7. They could climb as high as 3, but then they would need some major help because Catawba has the sweep. LR would have an advantage in a tie-break situation. The only team that does not have an advantage against Tusculum is Wingate in any type of tiebreaker if the Pioneers pull off a win Saturday for Senior Day. Malik Tyree's been a program guy. He's had 3 coaches here at Tusculum. Mike Jones, Coach Pasqua, and now Coach Burton. Jackie Davis, his second year. Austin Hall's only year here. And Donovan Donaldson in his second season here at Tusculum. So 69-66 out of the timeout. Tried a little backdoor look for Hodnett. We didn't throw it to him. It may have been there, but the pass was going to have to be perfect. We didn't get the alley-oop dunk. I was looking for some showtime. Donaldson, tough left-handed lay-in is no good with some contact, so he's missed his last two shots. LMU clears the rebound and takes it into the front court. McCauley. LMU, you know, they don't panic. Josh Schertz calls timeouts at the right time. We're blaring music. We're doing all sorts of stuff. And yet they just go about their business. McCauley from the baseline. Here's Brown. Back out to Dalling. Dalling driving and wipe it off. Offensive foul. Dalling whistled for his fourth on the offensive foul wipe off the bucket. Josh Schertz is given a warning on the bench because he was on the floor. And Jackie Davis draws the offensive foul. Just does everything right. Anderson has beaten Mars Hill, so they're trying to get into a tie with the Pioneers. They own the tiebreaker against Tusculum. Catawba hanging on. They lead by 3 against LR. And Wingate now leads Queens. That would be bad for the Pioneers. Hodnett. Smith, big three. No. Rebounded by Gibson. Gibson will back it out near the midcourt stripe. Josh Schertz to the midcourt stripe, wanting a travel against Gibson, and might have an argument. Again, my view is obstructed. Smith to Mitchell, worked over by Dalling. Gibson, a three is blocked. Calhoun got the block on Gibson, and it remains a three-point Pioneer lead. Led by as many as 8, and now we're tied as Taylor hits his first three-pointer of the second half, the first 3 of the second half for the Rail Splitters. We're tied at 69, just like that. Left side, Gibson. He'll fake a three. Hodnett will take it. This one's off the mark. Rebounded by Mitchell. Tip in is no good. And the rebound off LMU. Dalling is screaming no way. Still disagrees with the referee's decision. Probably shouldn't disagree too much. He's got 4 fouls. Tied at 69. The Pioneers get a second chance tip that doesn't work out. Donaldson elevates. His 3 attempt is no good. Long rebound to Calhoun. Here goes Taylor. Taylor working on Smith, and 1. And the comeback is real. So Dylan Smith is going to be whistled for his first, and when they needed him most, Cornelius Taylor is rising to the occasion. Big 3 to tie it, and now the 2 to lead it. Largest lead, LMU had an 8-point lead. Tusculum's was 7, by the way. But right now it's a 9-0 run, looking at 10-0 square in the face. Ooh, Taylor's free throw is off the mark badly. He might be tired. I would be. I'm tired just sitting here watching it. 71-69, LMU on a 9-0 run. Gibson on the left wing. Pioneers need points on this possession at 4 minutes to play. Mitchell. Hodnett. LMU has ramped up their defensive scheme. Donaldson gets a screen, but there's Calhoun to shut that down. Into the corner is Jenkins. Gibson gets off the 3. Bang! At the buzzer. Josh Schertz at the midcourt stripe again. (72-71) Pioneers. Bounce pass Calhoun. Drives around Mitchell. Reverse. He draws the foul. Tough take by Calhoun, who emerged last year in the conference tournament. And that'll take us to a break on the floor as well. Our final break of the game. 3:23 to play in the game. It's now Tusculum 72 and LMU 71. Pioneer basketball continues after this on the Pioneer Sports Network.
We are in Granger County, Tennessee, here at Pierce Farms, and the Pierce family has been working with Ingalls for over 30 years. It means a great deal supplying produce as a local farmer. It really touches base knowing that we're just simple people just trying to help, and we love what we do, and Ingalls is a huge part of helping us do it. Farming is who we are, and it's in our blood. God has really blessed us with the sun and the soil to grow the best tomatoes you'll find anywhere. I believe it's really in the soil. So if you're in Granger County and you farm tomatoes, then you're in. Just a great blessing on us to actually farm and be able to farm and to supply tomatoes to people. And Ingalls really cares about family farms like Pierce Farms, and they really care about their customers. We're just glad to be a part of that. God has blessed us with a really great partnership there. They make fresh local produce have real meaning for lots of people. I'm Shane Pierce, and this is my Ingalls story.
Cornelius Taylor leading the charge back as the Rail Splitters went on a 9-0 run to lead 71-69. Cameron Calhoun missing the first of his 2 free throws. Donovan Donaldson's 21 points, leading the Pioneers to a 7-point second-half lead, their largest lead against the Rail Splitters going back to that 2012 season. Last time they've had a substantial lead in the second half against LMU at all. And here we are with 3.5 to play, tied at 72. And Cornelius Taylor's last 5 capping that 9-0 run for the Rail Splitters. But Trenton Gibson's first 3 of the game, ending that and giving the Pioneers a 1-point lead momentarily. Mitchell got away with a double dribble. No, he did not get away with it. And a turnover on Tusculum. And for Tusculum, their 6th of the game. We've had 12 total, 6 on each team. Pioneers need a big stop here with 3:05 to play. Anthony Brown, taking over for Julius Brown, has been awesome. Julius, whose string of double-digit games, 5 straight, will come to an end tonight very likely, as Anthony has played very well to earn time on the floor. 10 to shoot. Dalling, big 3 here. This one is off the mark, no good. Offensive rebound tip by McCauley, trying to finish in one motion, and it's no good. Pioneer basketball tied at 72, 2.5 to play. Pioneers trying to end 24 consecutive losses to the Rail Splitters. Hodnett. Donaldson. Good switch by LMU. So good defensively. But Hodnett has a mismatch. Well, they had help. Donaldson off the dribble for 3. No good. Mitchell tipping it, controlling it, and he's knocked free of the ball. It's last touch by McCauley. We had a mismatch in the paint, but it was disguised quite well by LMU. McCauley was coming to help Taylor on Hodnett. And so the Pioneers will inbound it, where we've turned it over twice on inbound plays. LMU doesn't defend it as stingy this time. 2 minutes to play, tied at 72. It'll take a big moment and then a big stand. Mitchell. Jenkins. He'll try a 3. No. Mitchell battling for the rebound. It's off of Tusculum, out of play. LMU gets the stand. Can the Pioneers answer with a defensive stop? Each team with 1 timeout remaining. Dalling is going to bring it across the stripe into the front court for the Splitters with 1:40 to play in the game. McCauley, Dalling, Brown, knocked free of the ball for a moment, lost it, and it's going to be picked up by Donovan Donaldson. Racing the other way, and Dalling's going to foul out. Donaldson's going to go to the stripe with 1:25 to play and shoot 2. So Dalling picking up his 5th. The bonus the rest of the way for the Pioneers. The next foul by Tusculum puts LMU into the 1-1. So it'll be Cameron Henry, the redshirt freshman, in for LMU. This diaper dandy team for Coach Josh Schertz. Courvoisier, McCauley, Julius Brown, freshman, getting the start tonight. Henry, the redshirt freshman. Donaldson rattles home the first. Again, just usually they don't rebuild, they reload, but this year they're rebuild loading. Donaldson makes them both. 74-72. Pioneers by 2, 1:25 to play. Need a stop. Anthony Brown across the stripe. Taylor, Calhoun. Taylor against the zone. Henry to Brown in the paint. Oh, what a great finish. Good interior passing by the Rail Splitters as well. 74-74, a minute to play. And the Pioneers are going to call the timeout. It'll be their final timeout of the game. They know they must score this possession. It's coming down to this one. Josh Schertz wanted contact on the Brown finish, but there's been a lot of contact in the paint, no question about it. 74-71 was the final score in 2009. That was the last time that the Pioneers got a win against the LMU Rail Splitters 24 games ago. During the streak, the Rail Splitters have been ranked 20 of the times. They are not ranked tonight in the nation. They are the 7th ranked team in the region. Tusculum's last win against LMU, that February 4th of 2009, I remember it quite clearly. A big-time 3 late, and the Pioneers got a big stand in Josh Schertz's first year. He won the first game 59-55, and then got the loss in the second, but since he's rattled off 24 straight. 25-1 all-time against the Pioneers. So the Pioneers get their last time out, last instructions from J.T. Burton. Gibson to Hodnett, top of the key. Donaldson almost turned it over. On the drive to the rim and tried to dump it down low. It's deflected away by LMU. So the Pioneers will have it. 8 seconds to shoot. 38 seconds. Thought they might go 2 for 1 to try to get the final shot for sure. But they didn't go in that much of a hurry. JT will rely on his defense depending on this possession no matter what, either way. Gibson, Donaldson, layup is good. So the Pioneers will get a possession, difference of 6 seconds. 36.5 to play. Pioneers lead by 2, 76-74. And Josh Schertz will call his final timeout of the basketball game. Well, the Queens-Wingate game, Wingate has rallied down big to the Queens Royals. They tied it at 78. They lead now by 5 at 83-78. So if what holds here, that won't help the Pioneers because they're trying to reach for that number 3 spot or number 4 spot that Wingate is in, tied with Catawba. So Queens, who has already locked up the number 1 seed, now trails the Wingate Bulldogs at the Cuddy. Always a tough place to play, but Queens has risen into the top 10 in the country at number 9. Pioneers are looking for a 5-game winning streak to end a 24-game losing streak is what it would be. And for the Rail Splitters, they can wrap up number 2 tonight, but they must win. Right now they trail by 2, but they have the ball. Pioneers have outscored LMU 38-30 here in the second half. Tusculum shooting 47%, LMU at 48%, and LMU after a slow start to the second half at 52% for the half. 33 seconds to play. LMU will throw it into the backcourt. Reset it. Henry on the top. Against the zone. Right side, this will be Taylor against Donaldson. 10 to shoot. Taylor for 3. No. Rebounded by Hodnett. And he's going to try to get away. And they're going to say it's a jump ball. And it's Pioneer ball. With 12.6 to play, the Pioneers have had these end-of-game snafus. LR comes to mind, where they had the double dribble. So out of the game, somebody's got to come out. No, we're all right. Somebody's got to come out for LMU. On the inbound, the foul will go against LMU. They were holding Donaldson with 12.6 seconds to play. It is a 1-and-1. The foul goes on Taylor. That'll be number 1. The 9th on the team. A 1-and-1 for Donovan Donaldson, who will go to the stripe. 25 for Donaldson. Taylor with 24 tonight. It has taken that type of an effort. McCauley's going to come back in. 30 seconds to play at the Cuddy, and Wingate leads by 1. 83-82. Queens making a rally is Sean Willett, Player of the Year candidate, with the layup to bring him to within 1. Donaldson at the stripe. Yes, the first is good. It's a 3-point Pioneer lead. Donaldson with 26. Now 27, and it's a 4-point Pioneer lead. 10 seconds. Brown quickly into the front court. Got to get something. And a foul as Brown goes to the floor. You call that foul here at home against the Pioneers as Brown stumbles, losing his balance, and it's the 1-and-1 for Anthony Brown with 6 seconds to play, keeping the dream alive for a 25-game winning streak against the Pioneers anyway. But a tough call at home going against the Pioneers and against Hodnett, who picks up his 3rd. Make that his 4th. They've changed the foul then. Brown, good on the first. Anthony Brown, 83%, coming out of Indian River State College. 11.7 points a game this year, and he's right at 11. Second to make it a 2-point game is also good. Pioneers to inbound it, and another foul prior to the inbound will go on Taylor again. I wish this was an intentional foul. I think this is a rule they need to change. You foul somebody before the ball is inbounded. It should be an intentional with the ball. Now, I'm saying that obviously because of the situation, but I've been saying it for 5 years. Just don't agree with the committing the foul before the ball is inbounded with no time coming off the clock, because it only does the defense a favor. Donaldson is shooting 2 of them, and he's no good on the first. It's almost as if he knew he was shooting 2 of them. You cannot leave the door open. Donaldson for his second. No good. Rebounded by Taylor. 5 seconds. 4 seconds. 3 seconds. Oh, he walked. He traveled. He turned it over. It's over. The streak is over. The Pioneers have knocked off the Rail Splitters. You celebrate like you've won a national title, but all you've done is won a game. But who cares? It ends a 24-game streak to the LMU Rail Splitters, and Tusculum gets the win. How about that? Again, we go to the free throw line, squander a chance away, but at the end, the Pioneers get the win. 78-76, knocking off LMU and keeping the dream alive of hosting a first-round game for the first time since 2010. Tusculum defeats LMU on a winning Wednesday evening. Tusculum defeats the Rail Splitters. Your final score, Tusculum 78, LMU 76. Our Pioneer postgame coverage begins after this as you listen to Pioneer basketball on the Pioneer Sports Network.